Hey everyone, it's Smithy Code here. Um, so today I'm going to be talking about my overly advanced NPCs add-on. Essentially, it's normal NPCs, like the normal Bedrock NPCs, with the player model, 30 skins to choose from, can apply armor and whatnot, and a bunch of options in which you can truly customize the functionality of the entity. Before I get into the explanations and stuff and what this add-on offers, I want to go ahead and talk about some um, essentials. Once you download the add-on, typically, whenever you make add-ons or download add-ons, rather, you need a bunch of experimentals on. But I actually found out that you don't need a single experimental on for this to work, which is interesting. Regardless, I recommend you do still put on experimentals, um, because a lot of add-ons out there use experimentals. This also does not conflict with the player JSON, so there's no player JSON in here. It's just one custom entity, super easy to set up and super easy to understand. And I'm basically just gonna walk you through brief explanations of each mechanic that's behind me on this wall, as well as how you can spawn the entity and how you can use these mechanics and whatnot, and why they exist essentially, and some other things like the bugs I found whilst making the add-on that I know of, but I can't fix because it's a Minecraft thing, or that I know of and I just need to get around to fixing. So let's get into it then. First, the entity can equip armor stance. It can equip armor. It cannot equip tools, actually. It can only equip armor. And you can find the entity. Why is my CPS counter all messed up? So weird. You can find the entity in the spawn, in the creative menu, by doing spawn and then scrolling down to this egg here, spawn player NPC, or just type spawn player, and you can get one option like so. Once you click on press this down, this is what it will look like, and it will be a bunch of like NPC UI. You can mess with this, and there's about 30 skins to choose from. You can swap these skins out by going to the textures folder in the resource pack, going to custom underscore NPCs, and then changing the texture out for another skin, and then just swap the names around, and it will load here. This works like a normal NPC in the case of you have the dialogue here, you can type, you can give it a name. In this case, I guess I'll call it test. And you can give it some buttons and advanced NPC options. A tip for people who don't know, a lot of people use the at P in here, like TP at P to a location. There is an issue with this, and I'll show you using an armor stand. So let's say I'm standing here, and the armor stand is standing there. If I do this, and the armor stand's a player, let's pretend that. If I go ahead and click on this button here, this will teleport the armor stand and not me. Now you can actually fix this by changing the at P to at initiator. So at initiator is a hidden target selector that only works in NPCs or entities with the NPC component, and this will basically work off whoever executes the button. So if I click on this, this would teleport me and not the armor stand. Just a little note in there for you guys to use. Um, so yeah, I'll show you can equip armor. The way you have to give it armor is by replacing it using replace item onto the entity. The target selector is NPC player, or the type ID, sorry. If you're curious, And let's go ahead and give it a diamond helmet, like so. But a bug to take note of is if you wanted to give it a sword or something like an item, it does not actually work. You're gonna think, how do I find all these tags? How do I toggle these options? And we do that by going ahead and giving yourself the tag of NPC help. So you do this by running this command. Once you run this, it'll give you a chat message explaining how to target the closest NPC, how to target all NPCs, as well as gives you a list with all the tags inside that work with all this. These are the default tags that you met on the first page. And then these are the individual settings. You can go ahead and just do that tag straight away, get into it. So let's explain the patrol modes. There's 4 patrol modes, which is by default, it's can't move, which means that it's stationary. Won't have any movement AI, it won't look around. It'll just stand there like a statue that can breathe. Um, let's say we give it neutral. This allows it to walk around. Like they won't attack anything. There's also defensive and hostile. You can read up on, but I made it so that you can have just background NPCs, you can have bosses, or you can just have statue NPCs. It really is up to you. Now, knockback does not matter if they're immortal. So if we go down here, you'll notice there's an immortal and mortal option. By default, they're immortal, meaning they can't be damaged in any way, shape, or form. They can be killed with slash kill, and they can be despawned, but they can't be physically hit, exploded, they can't die from full damage, anything like that. However, mortal, if you give that tag to them, will be actually hittable. So if they go ahead and give them mortal, then knockback will actually matter because I can hit them. Next, the boss bar display. It uses the Ender Dragon and Wither boss bar display for their health. You do it by giving is boss. If you do not boss though, it will actually reset the stuff inside the NPC. I actually don't know why. You can change the max health as well. I'll give it is boss just so we can see the health. When you change the max health, it will actually heal the entity. And if you really want, you can give it 100 HP if you want it to be like a boss fight. It's good for that. You can change its base speed. I only have 3 options for this for now, and that is DEF for default speed, half speed, which is half of default, and full speed, which is 50% higher than default. So right now it's at default speed. Let's go ahead and give it full speed. And you'll really see the difference now. It's a lot faster. And obviously, if I give it half speed, it's moving a lot slower. Base damage. This is also speed can be affected by the speed effect. Same with health. Health can be affected with the health boost effect, and base damage can be affected with the strength effect. So effects do stack with these components. Next, we can disable the UI for the entity. So disabling the UI will also reset the name and the components inside the UI. So it will reset the advanced settings and the dialogue. It will not reset the skin though, and it will lock the skin in place. And I'll show you by now, not NPC. It will say it has a name, but that's actually a lie. It's a visual bug. Once you leave and rejoin, it won't have a name anymore, and I can't interact with it, as you can tell. This is for like fights. If you just want an entity that fights you, you can the despawn tag. So the difference between like kill tag or killing an entity, like so, it gives a kill cloud. However, if you despawn the entity, it will instantly despawn it with no further question about it. We can change the scale as well. This is the last option I'll walk you through before the end of the video. So scale 0.0 will not work, I realize, because that's not a thing. 0.5, however, this will set it to half scale or exactly one block tall. If we change it to 1.0, this will make it player height, which is just shy of 2 blocks tall, as you can see. And if we make it 1.5, it'll be exactly 3 blocks tall, like so. And yeah, with that being said, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching.